This is Eagle Owl, and today we'll be talking about Bryce Huff versus Lane Johnson. Also, Jalen Hurts can definitely read a defense. Lastly, Devonta Smith in the slot, but let's get straight into it. All right, so before we get straight into the topics, I want to talk about Tyler Steen. So yesterday I reported that Tyler Steen was off the field. I wasn't sure why, but that's the note I got, that he was just mysteriously off the field, and we put in another guy to replace him at that time. So later reports came out that he actually is dealing with an ankle injury. So he got like a mild ankle injury, will miss a couple days of training camp. It sucks for him because that spot was his. It was his to lose. And now you got Mekhi Becton, who been on your back, get a chance to show, can he be that guy? And one thing we know about Stoutland, Lane Johnson, is that they like playing with bigger guards, and that's what Mekhi Becton have over a Tyler Steen. Becton is a big dude, and if Becton can show he can hold down that spot, Becton ain't gonna lose that spot. So prayers up for Tyler Steen. Hopefully he get better, and once he get better, he could come back and compete for that spot. But now it's Mekhi Becton's spot, and we'll see what he do with that spot. I also want to talk about Paris Campbell. Paris Campbell was on the podcast. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the podcast, but he spoke about how this team is hungry and how we want full throttle day one of OTAs. But let me play this clip.
The team and the organization has, like, bro, we walked into it. Like, OTAs and the offseason program, like, I was like, yo, we kind of, like, we grinding. Like, what's going on? Like, usually, like, the offseason program kind of chill, relax, and let guys, you know what I'm saying, get back into it. I'm like, yo, was y'all doing this last year? And like, nah, bro, like, we finished 1-7, so, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't sweet. Like, we're trying to, you know what I'm saying, get guys back going. And you can definitely see, the chip just from top to bottom. And that was kind of like when I signed with them, talking to Howie Roseman, the GM. That was kind of like what he was telling me. He was like, "Yo, like, we think you had that chip on your shoulder just from what happened with you." And he was like, "I can tell you damn straight, like, we got that chip on our shoulder just because of how we finished." So it was just like, yeah, like, I'm walking into a team that's hungry, and you getting a hungry player. So no, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the new stars.
All right, so as you see, Paris Campbell was like, "Yo, y'all went this hard last year doing OTAs." He's like, "Nah." Whoever the player he was talking with was like, "Nah, like, we ended the season 1-7. Like, we we got some things to do. We got some things to fix." So look, how we want guys with chips on their shoulder, and how we even asked Paris Campbell, like, during his, I guess, interview or whatever with the Eagles, is like, "Yo, you know what happened to you in New York? You got that same chip? You got that same hunger?" And Paris Campbell was like, "Yeah, I do." So that's the guys we're looking for. Even when you step back and look at the roster in general, even with Isaiah Rodgers, signed him off the rip. We knew what he was going through, and we know he got a chip on his shoulder. And then like, you got N'Kobe Dean, who got a chip on his shoulder. Devin White got a chip on his shoulder. Just the defense in general. We might as well say the whole defense. CJ Gardner Johnson still got to show he got it, because he only played about 3 games. Go to the offense in general. Even though AJ Brown had a historic season, look how AJ Brown ended the season. It wasn't that good. So he has a chip on his shoulder. Jalen Hurts, he, according to experts and these guys that watch football all day, he not even top 10. So a lot of these dudes got chips on their shoulder, and it's good that we're going there with that mindset and went full throttle day one of OTAs. All right, so let's talk about the topics. Let's talk about something that leaked online. And when I say I caught it immediately. Because everybody's hitting me up like, "How did you get this footage?" It's like, it's going super viral on Twitter right now. And it was Bryce Huff versus Lane Johnson. So Bryce Huff and Lane Johnson going at it. And Bryce Huff made a good move, but Lane Johnson recovery was crazy. And Lane Johnson just kept him out the way. But that wasn't my main focus. So I was looking at everything because, we barely get any footage of OTAs besides, like, a highlight. But one thing I seen Jalen Hurts do, because usually when that happened, this shows that Jalen Hurts is developing and trusting his line more and more. as time goes, Jalen Hurts, that gap that you see, he would have took off and ran. And he would have got yards. He would have probably got a first down, 10, 15 yards. But he stayed, trusted his pocket, looked left, looked to the middle, and went to the right. So he went through 3 reads. The old line held up perfectly, and he got rid of the ball. Now, a lot of people in the comments saying, well, why didn't he get rid of it faster? You know, people gonna nitpick, but majority of the people are saying, like, yo, I like how Jalen Hurts' feet look, and I like how he went through his reads, and I see the same thing. But overall, the offense, it's been playing or doing a really good job against the defense. Even though the defense been doing good, just the offense, again, just taking it to another level. Definitely taking it to another level. And let's keep the topic on the offense. Let's talk about Devonta Smith moving around and being in the slot a lot more. So I'm watching Philly Mike and Isaiah Rodgers interview, and Isaiah Rodgers says something, casually talking, but it's a big thing to us Eagles fans. But let me play this clip.
Been better.
Yeah, and I think Ringo said it yesterday, right? Going against Smitty and AJ is only going to make you better. They're two of the top NFL receivers, and you get to go against them every day at practice. Who have you been matched up more thus far through 3 days, Smitty or AJ?
For sure, AJ. Smitty's more like motion guy, more in the slot and things like that, and I'm more outside. So, I've been probably more against AJ and Paris Campbell more than anything.
That's what's up. Yeah, and motion has been pretty utilized thus far through 3 days of camp, right? That's something.
Shout out to Philly Mike, man, for getting that exclusive. And Isaiah Rodgers don't even realize he gave us an exclusive. So look, Smitty going into the slot, getting favorable matchups. This might be the year, because the past 2 years since AJ Brown been here, I've been debating with people. They were like, yo, Smitty, this is the year he's probably gonna have more yards than AJ. I'm like, nah, AJ is a different breed. He's gonna have more yards. But year 3 together, I might say Smitty this time might have more yards than AJ. Because I see the type of receiver Smitty is and the type of offensive coordinator Kellen Moore is. Not saying AJ is not going to get his off, but Devonta Smith is going to have a lot of favorable matchups if I'm envisioning how they're going to move him around. Like, they probably going to have Devonta Smith on slot cornerbacks. If you play a lot of zone, he's probably going to be matched up with a linebacker if you don't got the right personnel out there. Smitty is going to win a lot of one-on-one matchups because we're going to be unpredictable and just moving him around unless you're playing a lot of man. And if you do that, AJ is going to cook and Devonta is going to cook. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting offense to watch. So, shout out to Philly Mike, Isaiah Rodgers. That was a really, really good interview by the two guys. But hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel, man? Short video today. I talked about Tyler Steen. Had to get that off because I was wondering about Tyler Steen. What's going on with him and why did he leave the field? But it was an ankle injury. And do you think Becton will take that spot due to Tyler Steen getting hurt? We will see. Also, how do we feel about what Paris Campbell said, man? Paris Campbell spoke his mind like, yo, these dudes, they got chips on their shoulder. You got to watch that whole interview. It was really good. He talked about just the Eagles culture in general. It was a really, really good interview. He talked about his past with the Giants, the Colts, but he's saying like the family origin thing and Philadelphia is a big thing. So y'all got to watch. I'm going to say y'all got to watch that full interview. How do we feel about Devonta Smith moving around? He's going to be in the slot a lot more. How do we feel about Bryce Huff? Bryce Huff, he's been taking a lot of criticism. I'm going a little rant here about this because I see a lot of people on Bryce Huff like, can he play? Can he, step up and take Hassan Reddick role, this and that? Bro, he's going up against Lane Johnson. We got to chill. Bryce Huff will be fine. I see the negative reports. We tend to do this to guys that get paid a decent amount of money, but it's Lane Johnson, bro. It's Lane Johnson. He was doing the same thing to Hassan Reddick. And we seen what Hassan Reddick did to other right tackles. It's Lane Johnson. Any other right tackle, we probably would have beat him with that move, but again, it's Lane Johnson, man. Come on. All right, but this is Eagle Al, man. I'm up.